All right, welcome back, everyone. Tonight, I will discuss the recent innovations and play league of that's been going on with our deck, and they're pretty substantial in my opinion. I joked, I want to say like 1.5 to 2 weeks ago, um, that sorry, 1 second. It must have been almost 2 weeks ago that the latest set, which is I don't even know what it's called, MKM Murder at Karlov Manor, is almost like Modern Horizons 2.5 for us. It is what the Lord of the Rings set was supposed to be that ended up not being. Namely, there was a lot of hype around Bowmasters printing for our deck specifically, because the extra bodies are better utilized because of Cradle and Phenars. Ultimately, in I would say a few months ago, late December, I decided, or in early December, I came to the conclusion it was no longer worth it in this metagame that's been shaped by Bowmasters, but I wouldn't say it's centered around Bowmasters, and I don't think enough of it to play any copies of, personally. And uh, my friend Matt's Ellington, Matt's Olay, agrees. So, quick backstory: Mats is typically very busy and doesn't get to play much Magic. Now, last week he had some free time and while he doesn't get to play this deck much, every time he's done so, I've seen him go on incredible runs with it. For those who don't know, Mats is essentially the OG Golgari King. He played a lot of these Golgari green black rock style decks in the past. And while this is really not from rock, historically, it's a deck built from elves. It suits his playstyle, what he enjoys in Legacy. So, he picked it up last year, did really well. I think he won like 8 trophies in like a 2 week span or something like that, something crazy like that. Which I've only been able to do in like the hottest of hot heaters that personally, and he did it pretty seamlessly. I think on 2 different occasions. He picked up a deck again last week and immediately 5-0'd with more or less the 75 that I recommended. The only change he made was he added back the second Arbor, which in his testing at least, he felt like he wanted access to. He said 2 weeks ago he started picking up the deck again, and he said he kind of missed having access to Arbor because of Phenars and Cradle hoof lines that all were relevant. So he added that back, consulting me how to fit it, and I think everybody would agree the underground mortuary is just too good not to play. So I said, well, maybe the 24th land, and kudos to him for trying it. Even before I did, I only tried out, a couple days ago after he finished in the top four with so spoiler with the list. Now to make room, he moved the Scarab Sword to the sideboard and trimmed the Fair Macabre. So pretty much, only one change. Now he wasn't the biggest fan of Pick Your Poison, so he asked me about my experiences on the card, and he just said it felt he'd rather have the turn zero interaction of Force of Vigor. So I said I thought it was fine if he made the change, and lo and behold, he made the change, kept the other 73 the same. Oops, something's not working. Okay, it's loading. He kept the other three the same, and then immediately ran undefeated in the Swiss up into the last round. He lost to Show and Tell, which is arguably blue green up Show and Tell, which is probably one of our worst matchups. And then finished in the top four. He ended up losing to XJ, John Ryan Hamilton, there, who ended up winning it all. But okay, I don't know why it's not loading. Oh, here it is. It just popped up in another window as well. So this is the top four list that he finished with. Kind of unfortunate, he had a small sideboard misclick that might have cost him in the semifinals. Namely, he thought he boarded out the bog, but he boarded out the second arbor, and that ended up being relevant according to his brief recap to me. But he did mention getting lucky earlier in the event by top decking a Cradle against the lands to stay undefeated, the Swiss at the time. So win some, lose some. Sometimes that happens. Got to adjust on the fly. Nevertheless, a very impressive run, and I think consulting him and his experiences with this list, um, the big innovations recently, besides Mortuary, is going down to one Bayou. That was actually something I independently was already thinking about, and he actually brought it up in my Discord the very day I was thinking about it, and we independently came to the same conclusion. I don't think we need the second Bayou. Hey, Mike, how's it going? So that was the easy cut. Where it got dicey was he wanted the second Arbor, and we were at 23 lands. I did not want to go under 12 lands. We cut the Lair of the Hydra just because it wasn't needed. Hey, Spy Man, how's it going? Um, and then he moved the Scare Storm to the sideboard. I, having tried the 24 lands myself now, I like the Scare Storm in the main because it's not as clunky when you have 24 lands instead of 23. I know some people shudder like, oh, you're gonna flood. I think this deck it's okay to flood every once in a while because Green Sun is a sink and Artisan is a sink, and I've found just hitting your land drops, it's very hard for you to lose unless your opponent is casting Dark Ritual on turn one. That is probably the only exception. Uh, and like I said, the loss that Matt's had in the Swiss in the round seven was to show and tell, and I think that's probably one on the harder side, especially the way Marcus has built the deck. Um, the way Marcus has built some of his decks, Elvish Reclaimer tends to be not very good, and against show and tell, Endurance is also not very good. So essentially neutralizing some of our strengths, I guess. Our strengths tend to be against the graveyard-based combo decks and the artifact-based combo decks because of Endurance and then because of Collector Oof. The weaknesses tend to be against fast combo where Endurance is irrelevant. Now, fortunately, Storm has converged on Beseech into Gaia's, I forgot the exact name, essentially the Yogg Will. And Endurance is now relevant against Storm. So really, you're just talking about Rite of Flame decks where we're kind of afraid of, and to a lesser extent, Show and Tell, where we have text, but it's not the best, right? Like, it's not like Endurance where you have an ace. I would say Discard is probably decent interaction, but not an ace. Like, it's okay. Um, but neither here nor there. I will now show where I'm currently at. Oops. Okay, so here's the league. Um, I moved the Swarm back to the main because 24 lands. I cut the second Shepherd. I think it's probably the weakest card in the main, and I think it's something we can potentially live with unless for some reason Chalice becomes a problem, right? I think you'll beat any slower blue deck. It's relevant against something like Doomsday or Show and Tell force combo decks, but typically not the reason why you win or lose. Most of the time, it's like secondary interaction. Um, Jailer has been very impressive to me. It's like good against Graveyard. It's good against Beseech. It's good against Cascade. And Cascade is, in my opinion, probably the hardest matchup. Again, a non-endurance matchup. Following that trajectory, right? Like, Cascade is not. It's like Snuff Out is not really good when they produce two bodies. So we don't have any ace cards, so to speak, similar to Show and Tell. I would say those are some of the harder matchups. Um, the Mess Fiend is a result of me losing to Mike, if he's still on, last night. It occurred to me we had a glaring hole, which was, and this appeared a few times playing against Marcus when he's playing High Tide. Namely, Dress Down is problematic for our deck out of combo decks because uh, in fair matchups we can wait a turn. Against combo, it's almost like a time walk. So I want to be able to disarm their dress down, and I think an easy swap over the second duress is mostly upside. It's a little bit slower draw naturally, but like I said, mostly upside. Hey Joff, how's it going? I think everything else is like fairly straightforward. I know some people are gonna cringe when they see 24 lands. I just love hitting my land drops, and I talked to Matt, and he said, it was fantastic for him against the Wasteland decks. Notably, he went 5-0 in the event against Day's Wasteland decks. Some of which were Delver, some of which were Scam. Um, but yeah, yes, we'll see how we go. We do pretty reasonable, I think. Also, shout out here to Joff, who had the 5-0 recently with the elf theme version of our deck. So what I mean by that is, or sub theme, I should say. He played the same shell, but he ran the what's it called? He ran the elf sub package, which is like a Wirewood, a Visionary. And instead of playing the Hearts, you play the um, the Landlord elves and then shepherds. Mississippi is definitely a nightmare matchup. On the bright side, we do have Jailer, which it's not really for that matchup, but it's like not nothing. When I added Jailer, the matchups I had in mind were it's another card for like the scam decks. Nice top deck, by the way. Um, and it was not it's good against the scam decks, but then I think we're pretty favored there. It was really for Cascade, which I think is difficult. Um, it's not unwinnable, and I think it's arguably a little bit more favorable than Show and Tell, but especially Omni, which is I think very hard to beat. But it is one of the matchups I would rather not see. I'll put it that way. I think of the lesser common matchups, Mississippi River is one of the hardest, if not the most difficult. Um, my record against Mississippi River is like 1-5 or something like that. I don't even know. I think I've only beaten once, and I felt like I got extremely lucky there. Um, I mean, yes and no, Joff. So, okay, let's see. We have 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana. Oh, actually, we have lethal, I think. Let me see. This play this as a land drop. That's 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're one short. Okay. Is there a card here that I want to see? I think I want to keep this in case endurance is somehow relevant. Actually, I messed up. I should have played the other noble. So that's 5, 6. We're still short. I don't think there's anything we can even get. Maybe the Grist is somehow useful. I don't know. Let's pitch this. Canoptic is not even relevant here. Okay, I could have sequenced this better. But just talking and streaming at the same, playing and streaming at the same time, not my best skill set. I just realized my endurance is off me, so like that's a moot point because of the grid. Ring. Okay, that's super annoying. We have to be careful not to mill ourselves there. Like we want the Atraxa in the deck. Uh, get the Cradle. Get that. Get okay. Is there any reason? I guess we'll just leave endurance up. More lucky than anything if we end up stealing this game one because we top decked that Clunge. Hey Diego, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. For those who don't know, Diego's been crushing it lately with his bug scam list, which I I haven't played against it too much, but I can see why Diego feels it's favored in the current metagame. Um, I mentioned this on Twitter. I just assume people don't take me seriously because I'm biased, but I think our deck is actually extremely well positioned at the moment too because we for sure, Mike. I think we're very well positioned at the moment because excuse me. Yeah, because Reclaimer Endurance is really good, and not only that, Reanimator historically has preyed on the decks that we're a little bit afraid of. Some of these all-in Belcherish decks, and I think the combination of so it's kind of like when 8 cast was really good, right? I think elves really thrived during that scenario because they had a good elves 8 cast matchup, probably better than the Reanimator matchup. But in addition to that, 8 cast tends to beat up against the stuff that we don't really want to see. So similar thing. I think we can cut the endurances. I don't know exactly the list that they're playing, but I would have to imagine the discard is really good. I don't know if they are on what is it called on Echo of Aeons or not. I don't know. Like maybe I bring it in just in case, but it's got to be better than some of the other stuff we have. Reclaimer, this is not really a Reclaimer matchup. I think in a faster matchup, I can cut the second Mortuary. Uh, Shepherd, probably not. This is slow too. Anything else here that we care about? I don't think so. Sure. Makes sense, yeah, Joe. I think just like Reclaimer, just so good. And as, with Mortuary, Underground Mortuary now, like I already thought Reclaimer was the best creature in Legacy, and I think that's even more true now. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think in the context of our deck, that card is completely broken. Not to mention, it lines up very well against the most popular deck in Legacy. Right, right. It happens a lot where because our deck is like super redundant. I think we keep just based on pick your poison by itself. It's good against Saga, which is one way we lose. I feel like we just kill that right now, and just like maybe their hand is dependent on it. Hey, decent, how's it going? Thank you for the sub. That reminds me. Ugh. So that's a little awkward what happened right now because we used the pick your poison trying to keep them off ring, and then they had the mana to ring anyways. Kind of brutal, but what can you do? So they're gonna get two extra cards out of this. But granted, 3 less mana. Oh my god. Okay, we're just dead, I guess. I don't think we're beating that. Yeah, this like very all-in deck that just loses the one force or one null rod, as we saw in game one. That actually, ironically, I think. Actually, it doesn't matter because they have Paradox Engine. I was gonna say I think that hurts them more than anything. I'm trying to think. Is there any way they fizzle here? I would guess not. I think my keep was reasonable. It like had turn one disruption into turn three ish collector oof. Mm, and the other thing was I felt like it was correct to yeah, I'm pretty sure we're dead. It's just like I don't know what the percentage is. If it's 0.001 or point 0.1 or whatever. Like I think my line was correct to pick your poison one because I don't know if they have Karn or not, but like I just don't want them sticking something like that. This is one of the matches where I would much rather see Force of Vigor than pick your poison. So I mean, that's 1 point here. We're keeping track for Force of Vigor. The reason why I like pick your poison is because it maps against Delver for me. So I in theory get to save on slots. But I think we're just dead here. They have like a zillion mana. If nothing else, maybe we can see their deck. It looks like they don't have Echo, so I think we can board out Jailer. Okay, there's the Karn. Now we're just dead. So they did have Karn, right? Like, I was afraid of them going turn 2 Karn and we're just gonna lose. But turn 2 Ring is pretty good. Are they cut? I believe so. Alright, that has a gazillion mana. I would concede. Yeah, I don't think they have Echo, based on what I saw. We can board out the Jailer as a result. What do we want here? I think Grist just to kill Karn is like loose. I think I'd rather just have another green pitch for Artisan and Cradle. Everything else is like whatever's. And then run it back. Uh, what do you mean by that? It targets, I think. So I can nab the thing and then like. I think we keep because I don't know. Like we top deck fairly well. I don't think we can just like mold to a certain thing, right? Like I should actually play the Misty first here because I actually have 4 copies in my deck. Okay, I guess it doesn't, but like, not really playing for those kind of hands. Um, they can go turn one Trinisphere. I'm not sure we honestly care. Like, I think turn one Karn is like way scarier. Like, like we can beat a Trinisphere. Correct. Yeah. This hand does nothing now. Not to mention a Trinisphere locks themselves out. Uh, like Trinisphere is like situationally good against us. It's not particularly good against like we have Trax on hand, but it's not good against Traxa, and in particular, it's not good against natural order. So I think I'm actually happy, and I know, right? Land drops being clutch here. Sure, I don't think we care. Oh, this is actually kind of cute. I didn't realize they could just like untap their thing. Actually, they have to tap it. Never mind. So it doesn't work. All right. What do we want here? Probably just more mana. Reclaimer, very little text in this matchup, unfortunately. So we're on a 2-turn clock roughly, but they're gonna be dead pretty soon. Sure. Question here is, do we natural order for oof? 1 turn too late. The problem with that plan, in my opinion, is then we might lose the saga, is what I'm afraid of. Like, I'm almost tempted to allow them. Maybe that's just bad, allowing them to draw a million. Yeah, I kind of want to. I wish I had hit another. See, this is why we have to hit land drops. If we hit a land drop here, we can go dork into another natural order. Yeah, let's do it, I guess. Kind of awkward. Because they can make constructs now, is the problem. I guess, yeah, I guess if they draw 6 off a ring, we're probably dead. But then they have a Trinisphere in play, so I'm like, what could they do, right? That's why I kind of was maybe daring them to do it. Oh, that's actually a very clutch draw. I don't know. There's a part of me that believes that we made the wrong play. Like how can are they going to be able to combo through their own Trinisphere? Like I feel like the answer is no. They should be attacking, but maybe they're afraid of the damn guy. I don't think they can do anything, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm supposed to seize right now, just in case. That is the scariest card here. They have a million keys already, so that's not gonna matter. We have like a million chump blocks if need be. Uh, yes and no, I think. We have a lot of live draws. And they're at 4 now, which is like dangerously low. We're gonna eat up the one mortuary that we have in the deck. That's pretty good. We have to keep that, right? Like, what are we looking for here? Let's just check what they have first. I don't think it matters. Yeah. It was Fiend. The high arc was reasonable too, but Fiend is like pretty safe, I guess. There's a few ways to play it. I think our opponent was drawing somewhat dead, but outside of Dismember, I'm gonna use the rest real quick. Here's the list. All right, I'm back, and I will get the next match queuing up. All right. For those of you who missed the intro earlier, this is the result of testing between myself and Matt Ellington, who had a very nice 5-0 into um, top four finish at the challenge. I think we might have misplayed personally. We're playing against Harry, who recently, um, ugh. They have swords. This hand becomes really bad. It's a lot better, but not. Actually, it's somewhat better. Uh, okay, we're drawing like garbage right now. What are the odds that we can beat this? Jesus. I don't think we're winning if we go any lower. But yeah, Harry had two 5-0 back to back to start his Cradle career. I think he's back on a Maverick now, but neither here nor there. Pretty rough. Like, I don't think either of those hands were really keepable. Because the six had two cards that were pretty much dead against Harry. That's not what I want to see. I think. Do we want to draw a land here? Probably not. So I'm gonna fetch. We're probably conceding game one here. Just mold too low. Yep. Normally I would evoke endurance there, but then we don't have anything. I think we're better off just like holding. But under normal circumstances, I would evoke for. I'm playing it this way because I need this arbor to live instead of dying to a bowmasters. It's gonna be rough. Oh my god. I like clicked through that. I needed to evoke endurance there. I needed to evoke endurance there. That was a just me clicking too fast. They got an extra wasteland out of it, which just means another look for us that we could have got for mortuary. Uh, On the bright side, I think I would have lost regardless. Like, given that we moved forward, essentially. They had it anyways. If that's a jailer, it's over. That's probably also over. Yeah. We're gonna take 3 right now, and they have a Gris active. I don't think we're beating this. I'm trying to think of our outs right now, and I don't think there is any. Like Gris is very good against us from their side because we can't really. What is going on? What just happened? Oh, I see. Oh, that's a pretty neat line. All right, that's time to wrap it up. All right, let's try to not draw as poorly as we just did right now. I don't really like endurance to be honest in this matchup, but it could be relevant. The fairies actually, like, it depends how many bad cards we have, which we have like a million, but no oof. Like fairies like straight up better than endurance in this matchup. Uh, this is like weak to bowmaster. I don't really want to bring that in. The rest is like whatever's. We just like hit our land drops, and I think that's the kind of the game plan. That was more unfortunate than anything else. Our deck at the end of the day is still a critical mass deck, and one of the reasons why I like this high land, I don't mind the high land count, is because if I can reduce mulligans, that's pretty important for our deck, and arguably more important for our deck than everything but maybe Storm, which is also a critical mass deck, right? Nope. These hands, though. Ironically enough, I think this is a keep. These swords on 1 were probably in a lot of trouble. Don't want to go to 5. I'm going to leave with Cradle and then Arbor because and like some of these hands have just been awful. Like that's why we have to play, I think, the full set of hierarchs, and it's kind of telegraphed that we have an Arbor coming up. We're playing defensively here, but that's okay. If they have a swords and they swords our Arbor, I think that's okay. But if we had led the other way, it's probably lose on the spot. I think I'm priced into playing this defensively. The higher upside plays obviously go turn 1 Arbor, but I think it's game losing if they have the swords. Here, the worst thing that can happen to us is bowmasters into swords. Swords in a wasteland is pretty good too. I think we live with that. Wow, okay. We're just gonna vomit our hand. Uh, I think black for the Gris, green sun, Fiend. It's quite the get. Yeah, we're just gonna vomit our hand. Yeah, this is too much pressure, right? Like, we just vomit our hand, we reload it. We're ahead on board, but even on card parity, and in general, these kind of creature-based matchups, if that happens, the person who's ahead on board probably wins. Okay, that played out very well. Do I want any of these other random cards here? Probably not. So let's run it back. The Macabre is probably the weakest slot, and that's just like a gotcha play. Sure, I think. That felt like I was playing combo elves again, right? Like just like popping off and then double Cradle natural order. I think we need to avoid a swords here. Bowmasters is okay against us, but if we can avoid a swords, that'd be pretty good. It's not what I want to see, really. If I draw a snuff out here, it's pretty clutch, but okay. Let's see. I think we just ramp. I knew we need the mana pretty badly. Reclaimer also does not line up very well against neither Reliquary. So I think we are priced into ramping, and then we want to hit land drop bin. So the sequencing there matters, right? Like you want to mortuary last because of the fetch effects. I know Harry is testing out the combo with the Marilage, but it's like a one of, I think. I don't think he's playing Crawford Chase. I mean, I don't know for sure, but the hole is against Dress Down specifically. Namely, it is very awkward for us to play against Dress Down out of combo decks. I want to be able to force them to either get it discarded or play it on our main phase instead of end of turn, which neutralizes multiple lock pieces. It's not my primary target, but unless it's against something like show and tell. But I lost to Storm yesterday night because I had to take the besiege instead of the dress down, and oof plus jailer wasn't even enough, right? Like it feels bad to lose when you have two lock pieces out. I mean, dress down. I face it against out of control decks, but it's backbreaking against out of combo because it's like a time walk. Whereas against control, usually you can win the next turn. Ooh, that is actually kind of annoying against us. Wow, that is quite the turn. Are they gonna tick down? Is my question. Or are they gonna give me the full mana? I think on that board state, I know, right? The difference in this game right now is one player has Cradle, the other person does not. They're ticking up. Okay. Well, well. Okay. I think we have to kill their Gris. Well, I think we have to kill the Gris right now. Even though that lets the throw through. It's very awkward. That throw is like randomly gonna be good against us. Outside of Snuff Owl, obviously. Presumably, our Cradle's not long for this world as well. There is a chance Harry goes for the kill, but I don't think so. I would imagine Harry's gonna take care of the guy's Cradle right now. The throw's gonna kill our Gris. We're kind of backed into the corner because outside of drawing Snuff Out, yeah, that's yep, no surprise. Why can't we just draw Snuff Out in this matchup? Yep. What? So this is earmarked for a Cradle. Is there anything we can rotate into? I don't think so. We don't even have an endurance to shuffle our Gris back. This would be a nice to have that second Gris, but that's water on the bridge here. Just pass. It's Elvish Reclaimer's big sister. Where's that Cabal Pit when we need it, right? Obviously, it's not gonna get through the Night of the Reliquary, but hmm. The problem is I don't think I can power. Well, they have a Mirror Age activation pretty soon too. Let's do this. We're gonna play into the wasteland here. That is a bin. I think Swarm is good. It's just like a little unfortunate that we're getting hit with that right now. What are we doing here? I think we have to play it in case. I think we're forced into playing it because they're gonna make a Mirror Lage here. We really needed the second Gorse this game. It's not why we won or lost, but it would have helped. The reason why what we really needed was, to be honest, Snuff Out for the Black Lotus effect. So we're gonna chump block. I don't think there is an out, but I could be wrong. I think we're drawing dead here. Like I don't see a scenario unless Harry screws up. I don't see a scenario where we can answer the throw and win on the same turn. Like we'd have to draw the Snuff Out and answer the Merit Lage at this. What the hell is going on? What is 6? Prime time? It's gotta be, right? Like, it's the best 6 drop in the game. What is 6? Interesting. Okay. Alright, now we're dead. Nothing I don't think we could have done there. We could take a look. Game 1, the first game we like Mold to Oblivion. That game, I think we also mold a few times. No, that was game 2 that I'm thinking of. That we led with Arbor. Against MC. Alright, we'll forget about this. Hey Harry, good games. Very well played. Thank you for the sub. We're just talking about your list right here. We'll keep this. I don't know what my opponent's on. Turn 1 basic island. That is either combo or holding up stifle. Or both. Alright, see ya, decent. Take care. I think here I just want the extra land. I don't want to get hit. If they randomly have stifle, it's gonna be bad. Not to mention we want to save our fetches for Mortuary anyways. It's like we're playing a blue deck now, right? We gotta save our fetches. Whereas before, we want to play fetches aggressively to grow Reclaimer. Feels like we're playing against combo now, right? 2 turns have not touched the board. They take the natural order, the card that, well, Greenson kind of matters. Interesting. So we're gonna do this. I don't know what kind of combo they are. Presumably Fiend is too slow. And if Green Sun were relevant, just in case, take a basic right now. If Green Sun were relevant, they would have taken it, but I guess they would have forced it, right? I don't know what they're on. It feels like combo, but we'll see. Feels like combo, but we will see. There is a decent chance they're on Rescaminator. Base. Yeah, okay, there's the troll. I was just gonna say, it feels like they're fair, but not. That is not even that bad. I don't think I mind that. I feel like we take down. If they Bowmaster, they Bowmaster. It is what it is. They don't Bowmasters, we're kind of ahead. Ooh, actually, I like that. I like that for us. Ironically enough, actually, yeah, we're gonna dig here. They have a wasteland here to keep us off. Bin. Okay, that makes sense. Put Atraxa probably into play. I mean, into the. Okay, Archon is reasonable too. We double block here. Is that worth it? I feel like it's not. If they have Reanimate, we're dead anyways. Because they're going to put Archon into play. If we double block here, the problem is they can waste. We're gonna fetch and see if they waste. Sure. I think we allow it. there's an argument to be made for us to just get the mortuary there to speed up our deck by a turn because they can waste anyways. That's so funny. What the heck did they draw? Technically not dead in my opinion, but maybe just they feel like they are now. I don't know. It's in my opinion, actually, in hindsight, because they had wasteland up, it's a slight misplay, and I probably should just got mortuary instead of like thinking my opponent's gonna misplay there. All right, let's bring in our hate bombs. This like I advertised this is the matchup why we want to be on our deck, right? So let's see if I can put my money where my mouth is, right? So we keep the mana base intact. Board out the natural order package. I like the hoof as a way to go over the top of Voidwalker. I typically don't like keeping hoof against Days Wasteland decks, but I think because of the Voidwalker plan, we keep it in as a way to maybe go over the top. A common line is you fiend for Scarab into fiend for Cradle Hoof with the extra mana now. Everything else should be fairly straightforward. I board out. Probably a shocking thing is I board out Shepherd in this matchup because the way the game plays out, I don't think you ever can. It's never going to be good, or usually not. This is a bull. Um, I think we put the 4-drop into the yard, but there's argument to be made. The mortuary is not great either, but I do think we should want to hit land drops. And this is a payoff at least. That's not bad. I think we get the protection card in case they go for it. We're gonna play the Reclaimer here and keep it up. Jeez, okay. Sure. So question here is, do we leave the Reclaimer up? They can waste us. I think we do. And just pass. It's still a few turns. If we play the Fiend, they waste it. And then we're hoping to top deck a Cradle. I think we just want to leave the Reclaimer up and dig for land here. Very nice sequencing actually from our opponent. I think here I'm gonna dig for land. They're gonna waste this. So I have to hit a land. Yep. I think we are on Cradle or bust here. If we hit Cradle, we might be in the game. Sure, no blocks. They needed to attack, in my opinion. I guess they can wait till next turn. They have a Bowmaster that changes the calculus too. I guess they can always just wait too. That's another thing. If we have a Cradle here, our opponent messed up here. They should have Ponder first before playing their land drop. Okay, that's pretty brutal too. Okay, that was pretty brutal. Like, opponent went combo into force backup. Like, what are we gonna do? All right, let's try to get game 3. Do we want to change how we board it here? I don't like this was dead, but I'm not sure any like I don't think the Shepherd really changes anything for what it's worth. And if we had hit this in the late game, it would have been relevant. Just as chump blocks. I think that was just like our opponent drew well and we drew medium. Like I think if our opponent did not have exactly combo into with backup turn 2, we probably win that game, right? Because we just bog in response if they wasteland us. Um, there's one layer of protection here, but a pretty good one. I think I'll try it. Like the rest of the hand's like fine. I don't think we can mull too much. I don't think they have spell pierce. I'm trying my luck here and see what they have. Reanimate, reanimate, Bowmasters. So, okay. I think we just take the Bowmasters because that stops our Fiend Artisan line. Actually, no, I take that back. If we take Bowmasters here, they can reanimate it and then kill the Fiend. This is a little bit awkward. I feel like we took the force here because this is like super redundant, right? Oh, I did this too quickly. I could have saved it for the mortuary and just been so I can play around the bowmasters. Keep. You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Oh, I think they're gonna just have bowmasters instead of wasting the reanimate, I guess. They should be griefing here, to be honest. Interesting. Do I bash here? Probably. They want to trade the grief, they're welcome to. Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. They're gonna chain bowmasters now, which is the annoying thing. That top deck was pretty brutal. Like their hand was pretty bad, and then we just needed to untap one turn. But what can you do? They're probably getting a bowmasters and killing a dork. I think our line here now is we need Canoptic Scarab Swarm. So do we care about the extra 3 damage? My gut is probably not. Like they kill our Arbor, and I don't think we want that. It is, unfortunately, been. Yeah, it definitely felt like we got kind of unlucky these games, but it is what it is. Also, I get the feeling our opponent like boarded out their graveyard hate too. I mean, they're entombs. So we could counter that with just not boarding in Thoughtseize. That's like an option. Uh, all right. Use the restroom. It is what it is. Let me review that. First game match I've lost to Scam in quite a while, so it feels bad. All right, we played that. I think that's fine. I think our hand is like fine. It has turn two C's. So okay, here's the thing, right? We their hand's like super redundant, so we take the only card that matters. Most of their top decks don't really do anything, and they're probably gonna Bowmasters our Dork, or if they want to cheese whole Bowmasters to take Artisan out. And I think from here we're like 70 to 80% chance to win. But we can't. They had the Grief top deck for what it's worth. Um, I think here was the small misplay. I don't think it actually mattered. So I got that because in case we don't have anything coming up and they don't kill, they just save the Bowmasters for our Artisan. I want to be able to bin a creature potentially, right? And it happened to be a Reclaimer, so I'm gonna leave it on top. and then here we just like get mind twisted. Like there's an argument to be made. There is an argument to be made that we're supposed to take the reanimate in the future, so that they can't reanimate our thing. But they have like a million reanimation spells, so I not even convinced that's correct. I still think taking force is probably correct and forcing the artisan of the reclaimer through. Because there's a world where they force the artisan and then we don't draw any gas. And then here, like, we can't stop this now. Yeah, we drew a blank and then pass. They start to chip away at our board with our own artisan, which generally is not good against us until it's like outside of very specific scenarios, and here it happens to be one of them because it's very mana intensive. Not to mention they have to have bowmasters in play, but neither here nor there. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom. All right, back. We'll start the next one. Pretty unfortunate games here. I still stand by what I said, and just to make sure I stand on business, if anybody disputes that, I'm more than willing to money match. I think one thing that I've liked, even though we lost the last two matches, is the Shepherd would have been bad, right? Like in both cases, I like that we went down to one because in the two losses that we had, the Shepherd would have been bad, and I just don't want another dead card. There's some argument to be made. The Mesmeric Fiend should have come in for the Swarm. I think that is possible. That said, um, I think there's merit to be made for the mesmeric instead of the swarm, but I'm not sure it would matter that game too. Sure, bunch of ramp and pay and one payoff. They're usually on initiative. Things must be dire. They swapped to polluted delta. Maybe they're on scam. Um, I'm just gonna get the basic forest here because uh, these random people playing stifles. I don't want to just lose the game because of that. Sure. So they traded 2 mana for one. Not the end of the world. Uh, I'm leading with my off-color nobles hierarchs because my days here. I'm leading with because eventually I might draw a grist or whatever. And here we're just digging for land. Keep on top. They're gonna waste us most likely, and then we're gonna double ramp again. Sure. I mean, they might be on shadow. I don't know. Feels like shadow because most lists don't have a grave, right? Um, if they add the stifle, then so be it. They do not. Here the sequencing matters. If they're gonna daze one card here, I'd rather it be the Hierarch for two reasons. One, I don't want the Green Sun. I want the Green Sun back in my deck, and two, if they do daze a card, I want the card that's dazed to be the one that pumps Artisan. Push maybe? That I don't think I care. That I do though. Ideally we just hit. What the hell? I was gonna say ideally we just hit another land drop and just go endurance into reclaimer. That is a land drop. What do we want to do here? Getting this endurance days might just lose us the game. Let's do this and use the land to hit another land drop. If they have Murktide, then I feel bad, right? Like they use one day so far, and they play waste. They played double wasteland already. Actually, in hindsight, maybe the endurance is better there. Sure. Thank goodness they didn't have the Murktide. Looks like they're holding a Bowmasters. Keep that on top. I'm gonna play this through days here. Okay, force, I'm okay with that. Why? Oh, okay. They're probably gonna try to fatal push my thing, or they're gonna reanimate it perhaps. I don't even know. I think we have to block. Maybe they push the endurance here. I don't know. Oh, I guess it's for that. Okay, I'm like playing poorly. Like that's like on board, and I don't know why. Like I just like went through my mind here. Okay. At least we didn't play through the days. They can attack with the one stalactite, not both. No blocks, I think. This should win the game. We have one thing left. I think it's gonna matter, but we fetch right now. Actually, let's do this. We're gonna target ourselves. Yeah, that should be game. We're gonna hit our yard. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if we really want to. All right. Looks like this is like a aggro shadow kind of deck. I like keeping a natural order in this situation. I'm gonna dare them to. Oops. I'm gonna dare them to beat an Atraxic because I don't think they can. And then I like. They are a reanimate deck, so the Jailer has text and it walls their Bowmasters. Fairy's pretty good. If I needed another card, the next card is probably Fiend, but I don't think I need it. And they don't. They're relying less and less on Murktide now and no Delvers, so no Pick Your Poison. Sure. It's a little awkward to draw both, but very interesting that they led with that. They stifle us, they stifle us. I don't think they have it though, but famous last words. Sure. Oh, this is gonna be sweet if we get them with it. So they've already set themselves back by dazing. Usually days I've found is not good against us unless they're ahead. That is a complete blowout. We don't need more land tap lands. Sure. I think here I'm not gonna run my jailer into a daze. If we draw a land, that's not bad. I'm gonna go to that. This. Um, do we want to control our next land drop or do we want to bog here? What are the chances that they can Murktide us here? Probably low. So I'm gonna do this. Bin. Also, that's the benefit of the whatever there. Maybe a shadow here. Yep. Wow. Okay. They have two cards in hand. I think we have a Traxa in the. Oops, cancel. I think we're gonna do it this way. In the event they randomly have Murktide Region. No blocks. I don't think we care until a few more turns. We're gonna get Cradle here, and if they don't have an answer, the game is over. Alright, they're gonna hit the High Arch, sure. Uh, question here is, we play this. This gives it 3 mana. 4 mana, 5 mana. I think I can still do everything I want. Just so we don't get cheesed randomly here. Yeah, this game. It's gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flyers, and good luck getting through that. You can kill my Phenars if you want. It doesn't really matter at this point. And the jailer is just so I don't like randomly lose if they like kill an Atrax and reanimate or something like that. Okay, that worked kind of how we drew it up. One thing that I noticed is awkward is I really wish the swarm tokens were not insects, which is the same as Gris, because in theory, excuse me. because in theory they can plague engineer both of them, right? Which is like annoying. It was Scarab Swarm. Canoptic, Scarab, Swarm. This is a mole. The games have been fun. We're 2-2. I felt like we got extremely unlucky in our round three matchup earlier. Or let me rephrase that. We were probably like 70 to 80% chance, maybe higher, to win game three, and our opponent top decked after we seized. Keep actually keep this as pitch just in case they're like reanimator or something. Our other loss was to I don't remember. Oh, our other loss was to Harry. We won a 5 or 4 game one, and then we lost game three and game one. I think the game is probably game one was not favorable because of the mulligan. I think game three we couldn't play through their hate. I think Harry had the new Hushbringer and a something else out and a grist, and we can only deal with one. Also, it would have helped if we drew the snuff out, but we didn't. In either of the post board games, we did win game two because we just had nuts. I think it was like turn three hand, but like that hand was actually not great too. We had to lead with Dried Arbor. So our hands have been a little bit sketched tonight, but I think overall I like the changes that I made. I think there's no world we don't take Cradle here. So one thing that is kind of nice is we're seeing that planning ahead really matters for this kind of deck. Like I kept the Once Upon a Time pitch, which it's not gonna matter in this game per se, but like we drew the Artisan, and if they had a Bowmasters, we could have been like force of will their Bowmasters decision. I'm actually up to 24 lands, so like somewhere Marcus is probably cringing at the flood, right? But 24 lands, 2 Arbors, 2 Mortuaries. I think here we're. What the hell is? Why is there a Saga on the other side? Um, Let me play this. Who the heck knows if they have days or not? Probably not, but if they do, it's gonna feel bad. Actually, you're right. It probably is breakfast now that I think about it. There's an argument to be made that we leave the fetch to get a creature if the fiend resolves. Sorry, if the fiend doesn't resolve. But I think playing to the upside is better. Yeah, I keep forgetting about this deck. Like, I guess I don't respect Cephalid Breakfast. Like, I don't even. I'm thinking what has Island and Saga, and just like I'm blanking. Mayneck Swords is interesting. I want to run this in today because I want to be mana efficient. Gris seems good. They had days they would have used it. Um, it is certainly. It's certainly breakfast, but our hand cannot beat whatever they have right now. So, hey, how's it going? Local LGS here. I think we're probably dead. Yep. Sure. I guess we can see what's in their deck, right? If they're on Stoneforge or not and whatnot. Main deck Swords is certainly interesting. I wonder what the reasoning for that is. Maybe, like, what do you even care about? Like, maybe the the stompy decks, but then they have Chalice, or maybe just saving sideboard slots. I don't think there was anything we really could have done about this game here. They had a combo into with Swords backup. They probably, it looks like they removed the. It looks like they removed the Stoneforge package. Maybe therapy now. I don't know. Probably wondering why I haven't conceded, and the answer is probably more straightforward than they think. It's just I want to see their list. They probably name endurance. Yep. Well, there's the last Narcomoeba. For a second, I thought they didn't have it. That was interesting. Now they try to return the thing, and we're dead. Okay. It's been a while since I played against this deck. Like I said, I've not seen it in a minute. I already forgot how to board against it. Obviously, I want the snuff outs. The thought seizes are good. The pick your poison. Do I want that against them? I forgot. Here it says no. It's good against Saga, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's actually kind of bad. Because I don't think they're gonna run out the Shuko until their combo turn. They shouldn't, at least. Uh, yeah, it doesn't really do anything except hit Saga, and I don't know if that's worth it. We can board out this. We can board out the endurances too. Jailer seems pretty good. I brought out Shepherd because we're boarding a bunch of black cards. I don't think we need to force anything through. The Grist stays in. So the question is, like, do we like Grist better or do we like the Mez Fiend better? I'm actually tempted to say, oops, wrong one. I want to audible here, and I actually think the Mesmeric Fiend is better, especially since they're on white base removal. And the hoof is just left to go over the top in case something strange happens. I love that some of these blue mages get cute and they board out their permission against me, trying to blank my shepherds. And then in parallel, I'm boarding out my shepherds as well. Mm, ugh. Whatever. We're gonna YOLO it. It's pretty yucky, but we're gonna YOLO it. The line here is turn 2 Mesmeric Fiend, turn 3 Artisan, turn 4 Jailer, maybe. And they have to respect Snuff Out, presumably. I don't. I don't love it, but like it's like a reasonable 6. It has a game plan at least. And I don't think we can just like mold to specific cards because they do have permission. They do. Did we see days? I don't remember. I think we saw chant. Yeah, I think we saw chant instead of. Okay, our opponent does not know what's up. They just named Nawa Hierarch. They just laughed about it. All right, let's take a look at their hand. So somehow our opponent knew that they messed up, but how is that even possible? So the interesting thing is they have combo here. Uh, they play the Saga. It's gonna be a few turns. Guess we just take that. I don't think we have time to do that. Hmm. Probably draws out four. No, interesting. Maybe they drew removal and then they have and combo. That's the only thing I can think of. But if that's the case, that's pretty rough beats. But nothing we can do about it. Like if they swords here, we're dead. Yep, that's looks like that's what's happening. Never mind. They swords the other thing, so maybe they have a. They drew a redundant piece or something. I don't know. An irrelevant card. Interesting. That is not very good against us, in my opinion. I guess so too. Yeah. Well, that's funny. There's the snuff out. Question is like, do we care? Because they're on the grind plan now, and I just wonder if we even care, right? Like they're gonna have Saga. That's a 2-2, and then a 3-3, and then they're gonna get their 4-4s. I don't think this is what the matchup is about now, right? Like it seems like they're just trying to fair us out, and if that's the case, like I think we just bin the snuff out. Like I don't think I'm trying to answer this Saga. That's not what I want to see though. The problem is they still have force. I don't think we care. Like we just take like 5 hits or whatever it is from. Sorry, 3 hits from it. Dealing with this force is problematic though. But we're probably gonna lose to that Saga. Sure. So they're gonna bash for a bunch. We're probably dead because they have force backup. Very awkward to lose this Saga. Jesus. Okay. Actually, I think we saw Teferi in game one. Argument to be made that that means we can't play Mesfine. And they have like a million removal. The alternative. If swords that. There's an argument to be made. Before I played Jailer, I kept in the natural order. I know I recently changed the sideboard map where because I didn't have the Jailer before, I would board out the Fiend Artisan and keep it natural order, just go over the top. I think the way that they're playing, it might be better to just like put them on force or bust because like trying to eat through their 7 removal spells is not that easy, given that we're under some time crunch. I think we'll concede. We're dead. All right. I think we learned something there. I haven't played that matchup in quite a while. Argument to be made. Fiend is kind of slow, and we just want to just slam natural order. Like I think that is like instead of trying to chew through like 7 removal spells, like okay, if you want to swords my Atraxa, that's fine. Like it's put them on force or bust, right? Like so I think even in the presence of Soul Jailer, sorry, Soulless Jailer, I think I like the original plan that we had pre Jailer. Just board off Fiend Artists and you just go over the top with natural order and just ignore their spot removal. Okay, that seems reasonable to me. That way we don't even care about their saga like at all as well. That like, independently solves that. We use the restroom. I think we went 2 and 3. But I think I learned a lot, and I'll play a few more matches after I use the restroom. All right, I am back. The Mez Fiend, I think I like in theory. Um, this is always the weakest spot, but I feel like I don't want to just be cold fatigue. The duress, I think is fine. There's like a couple of other options I can play in the meantime, but let's just run it back just for more sample size, I guess. Oops, I just remembered I am short, which is good news for everyone. I'm gonna open up chess. Is this running at 4K? Oh, when I hey, how's it going? I don't know. I don't know. Actually, honestly, I mean, I have a decent monitor, but like I don't know if I have the settings on 4K. It probably is. Nothing relevant. Thalia, my girl. Oops, wrong one. Cursed Totem. Ugh, I don't want to see that. Blood Tired Conduit. Okay, nothing good. It is what it is. We just lost to our opponent. Actually, the funny thing about that is like by boarding out Fiend Artisan, you blank more of their cards, right? Like, imagine having three removal spells and your opponent just plays Mana Dorks. It also blanks their Pithing Needle, right? That's like if you don't like how they're gonna be overloading on just Reclaimer. What I like to do is like because we don't have card advantage in our deck, like not hard raw card advantage outside of like Fiend Tutoring if you count that with Gris. What I like to do is choose an axis that I'm willing to concede, and then blank their draws in that axis. So for instance, uh, somebody asked me how would I board against the Leyline of the Guild Pack deck, right? With Scion, whatever, and I don't board in any removal because my decision is I'm gonna lose to I'm okay losing to multiple to their creatures because I don't want to. I think boarding removal against a Beans deck is a losing proposition, and The nice thing is, if I don't board and remove it, they draw multiple creatures. The second one is dead. Let's keep. Yep, yeah, that's a. Yeah, I just don't think you're gonna outgrind a beans deck when you're trading one for one. Like I don't think that's a winning line. Okay, they probably take my Once Upon a Time. They board it. They pitch an Entomb, which tells me they probably have another one. Yep, they take the once because that can find endurance. What the hell is going on? What in the world is going on? I know. I almost feel like I came out ahead in that exchange. As hilarious as that sounds. Um, I think I just play this tapped. That's a keep. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, sure. Same logic, right? I want to play the off color higher. It mostly doesn't matter because we've cut all the black cards in our deck anyways, but it could matter for Gris. That's the only reason. Sometimes I actually like keeping the hierarchs if I'm near hardcast Atraxa range, but that's like more corner case. Yeah, I don't know what our opponent is doing to be honest. It definitely feels like our opponent has not played correctly. They want to trade, be my guess. I don't think I care. They bowmasters me here. That is like super awkward. I think I'll take that actually. Grows my artisan too. Sure. Misplays on both sides, more on theirs, and I think that's probably why we're gonna win this game. Actually, let's do it this way. I think the creature is like more relevant here, ironically enough. For two creatures, that's not enough. I didn't think getting Canopted was worth it there. Sure. We kill our Gris, that's fine. We kill their thing. I'm gonna bin this actually. The game might be over. If they reanimate our grist, I don't want to knock on wood. That's probably the way we lose. I think the next line here is. So essentially, what we did was we cut off animate dead by nuking their yard. Uh, I think I'm gonna swarm myself next. That's correct, Max. Because I think the way we lose is grist here. They've been. The reason why I didn't endurance myself there is like, if they have a bowmaster, suddenly I have no board. Okay, interesting. One, two, three. Let's not get greedy, I think. It feels like they have bowmasters, but they bowmaster this. I think we probably win anyways. Let's just not get greedy. They can, but the question is like, are they beating a swarm? And the answer is probably not. Interesting. I think what we're supposed to do is if they had. Okay, let's not. I don't think we're supposed to get greedy here. I'm just gonna bin the endurance for who the heck even knows. Maybe a reclaimer before they have a chance to respond with bowmasters. I don't know. People make strange plays. I think I'm gonna endurance right here. Hit their nuke their yard. The game should be over, but I could be missing something. F6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lethal on board. It definitely did not feel like our opponent played right. They double griefed us turn one and essentially went down 2 cards. I almost felt like that exchange helped us. And the fetch sequencing was definitely incorrect because they couldn't even reanimate that second turn based on what they did. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. So we have lethal on board. We're gonna pitch a one of those insect tokens and then deal lethal. There's an argument to be made actually, like in case they have stifle, the correct take actually is Atraxa. And just like play around that random thing. So yeah, there's an argument to be made. We just get Atraxa here, and they just can't do that anyways. How do we lose? Endurance. Yeah, like If they want to stifle the Atraxa, we still have an Atraxa in board. If they stifle a Hoof Trigger, then 98% is still not 100. Right? We could technically lose because the bog's out of the yard already, or out of the deck already. All right. I think we want the jailer. I think we want the Caesar still. Fairy. There's an argument to be made for the Mez Fiend. This wins games though, so let's see how many cards we have. I don't think we want Shepard. Like the way the game plays out, like permission's not gonna matter. It's gonna be awkward if we have to take a Bowmasters. This straight up wins games, so I think I like this still. Also, it's possible we just don't hoof. We just get this. Like maybe it's this. I am okay with this. I think it's lower to the ground too. So yeah, I don't mind this. That way I still can go. The thing is, like, I need to keep in mind, I have to go over the top, and maybe that's just the swarm, right? Literally over the top, to race their void walkers. This is like reasonable, I think. Artisan is endurance pitch essentially. If they have a reactive hand, then Artisan is relevant later. Well, once first. We'll get another Reclaimer into C's. So, for those of you keeping track, the second Bayou has not been relevant at all. Sure. Maybe they days, I don't know. EE, Hearse, Ponder, and Animate Dead. Hearse is not even good against us? Like, maybe, but I don't want to go down a card because they Animate Dead. Granted, I don't care about EE. I can play through it. Like if they draw days and suddenly they have a threat and then we can't answer it, that could be problematic. So let's just take the reanimation spell. Play it safe. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Sure. Like, this card is like randomly okay against us. This is really funny. So, question here is, they play the Scrubland. Yeah, I'm gonna try to force the EE to come out. If they want to tap 3 mana, I think I can live with that. Oh, that's really annoying though. Sure. That's actually now really good for us. Let's take that E out of there. Aha! They kept it. Yes and no. I think like it's not the end of the world. Even if they blow up 2 for 1 here, they like tap out and then we get a hit on tempo. I'm not. The Catherine is super slow. I'm not concerned about it. Like if we can't kill them before Catherine matters, then we deserve to lose. Sure. The mana matters. So let's check our deck right now. We can kill the Catherine. It like shuffles, I think, into the yard or whatever. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna get the Arbor. I'm gonna pitch the. I need the mana, so that's why I'm getting the Arbor. I'm gonna pitch the Noble Hierarch and kill the Saint Catherine. We don't have. We don't have hoof. That's the annoying part. We have four. Actually, we can attack and then just bin this. Get rid of this. Yeah, that is the plan at the moment. Blow up the thing. They bowmasters. They bowmasters it. I don't think it's very good against us personally, but they can try. Like, look how slow E is against it. Like, what are they gonna do now? They're gonna spend 3 mana, kill one thing. And the hearse has not yet done anything. Sure. Maybe they bowmasters the fiend here. Ooh, where is there's the mortuary. Okay. Top. Was this on 2? Why did I think that was on 1? What the heck is going on? Okay, I mean, that's okay. I should pay attention more. I just assumed it was on 1, but maybe not. Uh, I think the game is probably over. We have like war control. It's just a matter of just winning. I know, right? I actually don't think Cat's that good against us, anyways. It's like annoying more than anything else. But like, as long as you have board control, you have a lot of time to win. And we have more cards than them. We have board control. Like, it's a matter of just dealing them 20 damage now. I think the only mistake was I should have paid attention to like the number of counters. Excuse me. Mm, underground, sure. Yeah, it is. It didn't feel like I needed to huff this game, right? I'm gonna clone my artisan here in case something bad happens. Actually, Mez Fiend is like reasonable too. Just like take whatever it's in the yard or Jailer. They're all like insane cards. Let's see what's up. Take the grief. Okay. I think I can just like safely tap out now. Now I'm just playing with my food. That's bin. I don't think I need it. Okay. Let's not get sloppy here. How do we lose? I think we get the Jailer. That's probably how we lose. I just leave mana up, I guess. We've used the both mortuaries on now. We used the both arbors, so the whole buffalo, the mana base, I guess. I think the next line is we have one forest left. I think I'm a reclaimer for a forest. We could have put them on a quicker clock, but I just played defensively there. It doesn't matter. guess I fetch. Uh, what are we doing here? Probably not. This line is extremely conservative, but I think it's enough. Actually, I was gonna say I could put the bog back in, but we have the endurance, so it doesn't really matter. Just pass. Okay. The game was like over a long time ago, but it's just a matter of just killing your opponent, right? Topping out Grist seemed like it was enough. The thing is, I realized is if your opponent really has the hand that's grindy, namely like a Plague Engineer on Insect, um, or like multiple Bowmasters with some pressure, I don't think Hoof is getting there anyway. So I actually think the way I boarded there was correct. The Mess Fiend, they're just taking a grief. Uh, or just like a late game taking an entomb or something. It's like or reanimation spell, so our opponent doesn't get lucky with the entomb. Seems like it's correct over a hoof. And if we top in at grief, sorry not grief, we top in with insect or grist. It's probably enough. They're awkward against plague engineer, but um, I think you can beat plague engineer by just going over the top, which is like big artisans too. Like at some point they're gonna have to block a reclaimer or something. Some people play it. I haven't seen too many. It's like a one of or two of at most, I think. Oops. Sure. This is the scenario I don't like. Drawing the actual bayou. It's like really bad. It's why I've cut down to one. Like it's well part of the reason you don't really want to draw it. It used to be that you need the second one, but with mortuary now you have a high enough swamp count that doesn't really matter. They better not moon us here. Sure, that's whatever's. Hmm. Do I tick down here or tick up? Feels like it should be up, but I could be wrong. Actually, I don't need to do either. I can just take the damage here. It's like really awkward. They have like the bombardiers or whatever. They review mountain, so that's like a little bit of what I'm afraid of. Actually, I think I have to do it now. Like the two mana is like relevant now that I think about it. It could be the difference between playing like a Mince and Boo or whatnot. And in case they have Rabble Master for some reason, Reclaimer can block here. Not to mention activation is relevant for Blood Moon purposes. Oof. That is actually obnoxious right now. Oh, plus first. That's not great. Also need a bin. What is going on? Oh shoot. Okay, I screwed that up. I forgot about this. This is like relevant. I'm supposed to reclaimer first and then bin, but that's no. It's like f that up. Yeah, that makes sense. I just f this game up royally. Not I don't know if that matters, but like I didn't give myself any didn't do myself any favors. Yeah, I mean, I also like just like not playing the best at the moment for what it's worth. I don't think it would have mattered, but maybe it did. Would have. To be fair, like if I had paid attention, oh my god. To be fair, if I had paid attention, this wouldn't have been. It would have been a different kind of problem. I probably still lose for what's worth, but I would not have just lost a creature for no reason. Why do they play main deck Moon? Like, this doesn't seem. Well, maybe it's okay with that undermounted. Oh, there's Bombardiers. Sure. We're dead, but. Alright. Man. That was not fun. Why are they playing this deck? We just treat this as normal initiative where Snuff Out's really good, and if we need to, we will walk into their Magus. Pick Your Poison's a little bit worse because they don't have Archon of Emeria. Um, so question here is, do we think they can beat a Atraxa? And the answer is no. We're gonna dare them to beat an Atraxa. Canoptic, probably not. Slow. Endurance, bad. Like, we have a bunch of bad cards here. Shepherd, no Bog for sure. No second Mortuary, I think. So the question here is like, yeah, I just don't think they're beating an Atraxa, even with Dead Gone. Like, are you just not gonna cast it early? And and if I've drawn four off Atraxa, they probably lost. Mesfiend, maybe. Pick Your Poison, hit a Chalice, probably not, right? Like, I don't know. They probably have like the enchantment. I forgot what it's called, but I don't love endurance either. I guess these are like the lesser of the evils, right? Like endurance, this is like a 3 mana 3/4 in this match. I don't think it does anything. Actually, the Caracas is relevant for mints, but that's okay. You kind of have to have it naturally. Feels like this hand would walk into Fury. Among flooding, too. I don't think we're mold to natural order or snuff out, though. Actually, yeah, this hand's slow. I think I have to mull it. The hand is asking to lose to Fury. I don't think I want to go to 5. Here I'm going to try to tempt my opponent into turn 1 Moon. Feels like they have a sweeper. Just turn 1 do nothing. This is they have to respond to this. I think a Fury is going to come any second here, but we'll see. That seems very slow. Here should be the Fury. They probably just top deck the Chalice because there's no reason not to. Yeah, there. Okay, there's it. Because this is like the setup, right, for natural order. Smart. Here, I think I am going to bin and see what I get. Put it into the graveyard. It's 3. Oh, they have a Chalice out, so that changes things. Sure. So I get Grist. The problem is then I have to tick down. But maybe that's game winning. It certainly feels like they have another thing up their sleeve. They got a Forest. I'm gonna spin the wheel and see what we get. That is actually not bad. I think this is a force block on their end, but we'll see. The thing is, like, I could get. Oh. The thing is, I could get Gris down the road, but it's still vulnerable to all these haste creatures. That is actually not the worst. Uh, I guess get rid of their dead gone because it's more efficient. If they want to tap out for Under Mountain, sure. Highly possible I'm supposed to mulligan a second time. I think we have to get lucky here and hope to top deck natural order. I need them to mess up and hit Arbor. Okay, they hit that. Sure. They get the dead gone back. That's okay. I think it depends. Like, we have four snuff outs, but I don't think I can just like mold to them. So if we were fortunate to draw a snuff out early, then I think this game looks very different. The problem is like this matchup is very dependent on having snuff out, and we have not been that fortunate. Uh, do they have the thing back? How do they? Okay, they did that. Oh, I'm supposed to get the mortar. I thought I boarded up. Just not very sharp right now. I don't think it would have mattered like, anyways, because we're kind of behind already. Two. So they just chump block here and we're just dead. I think. Two. Yeah. All right. Presumably they hit another Fury or something here. Yep. That is it. Why would they get that? Why not get a Fury? There's no out here. I think they have a dead gone even in hand. I actually beat this opponent like a while back too. It's just let's take a look at the games. Game one, I felt like there was nothing I could have really done, but we were on the play, which helps. Our hand not the best, but reasonable enough. We go turn two, Grist tick down. I think that's correct. Just to cut their mana and just hope they don't, opponent doesn't have any follow up, right? There's the follow up, and we okay. That's when we screwed up, and then the game is lost after that. Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to keep that. I think we're supposed to go five. Like Artisan's kind of slow. I think that's probably where the game was lost, really. Here we did that. They presumably Fury us. We've been a thing. So I actually think that was a mistake. Instead of running the Artisan out, I'm supposed to run the Reclaimer out. And so if they have to deal with the Reclaimer, otherwise I get value. They probably Fury right then, and then I have two Artisans in play. Thanks, thanks for sure. To be honest, I'm not sure I could have beat this curve anyways, right? Like you're talking about that. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm beating this curve. All right, maybe one more for the night. That's the matchup where I really want to see natural order. Oh, they're double click queuing. Yeah, I don't really want to wait. Time is money, and all right. What do you think? Should we concede? I think this is the type of hand where we just run everything out, not play around anything. Uh-oh. Underground C is usually combo. One of the hard parts is, oh, they missed. Interesting. Play everything through days. The chances of winning this game are now very high because they brainstorm with missed on land. It feels like they're on combo, so there's danger. But if we untap, we probably win. If we untap, we probably win. That's a big if, though. Also, a tell is if they tend to take a while, and granted they're double queuing, so maybe they're not on like something like Storm that requires more focus. But in general, if they are taking a while, that means they probably don't have it, or they're some kind of like Storm deck where they have to think through the line. That's one of the tells. Yep, I am correct. Looks like it's TES. Or at least some Besiege variant. Maybe not TES per se. The good thing is there is a chance that Mesmic Fiend is going to be relevant now. Uh, Matt's Ellington actually joked with me because I was asking for his opinion on that. He actually brought it up first as a potential replacement in the main deck for the Shevra slot, but we were joking. Oh, it's a Fiend Tribal. All right, this is the last match. Regardless, this is taking too long. I think they're going for a song. Will? Okay. Sure. I think we're dead here. They have the kill. The irony is, if we had led with Reclaimer on one, they would probably win this game. Well, maybe not. I don't know what else they have, but so it is. I think TES because of the Chrome Mox. Oh, sorry, because of the Echo. That's what I mean. Do I board it? How do I board against them? I think I just actually take out the endurances because I assume they're not gonna go for a graveyard line game two. Maybe that's game two cute. And I just want to kill them with natural order. CES. Yeah, I think this is how we board. This is like trying to blank their cards again, right? I'm gonna make the assumption they're gonna play around endurance and just not board endurance in. Unfortunately, I think I have to keep this. As nasty as this is. Like, what am I molding to if I don't keep a Thoughtseize hand? Even with 24 lands, granted, I boarded one out. Do not want to see this happen. Land off the top would be fantastic, but it might not happen here. Okay. I guess we take the Lion's Eye Diamond. And don't let them wheel. That's actually not bad for us. They probably take the Green Sun. I have to imagine. Yeah. If we hit a land here, I actually feel good about our chances. There's the land. Because this is going to start to take over the game. They probably ponder here, if I were to guess. Yep. One LED is already in the yard. Their hand is like somewhat garbage right now. Uh, if we can fade an LED, I think they're kind of far away from killing us. And they shuffle, so we must have faded it. That's pretty damn good. Okay, we play that, that's 3 mana for 5. So the issue is, if I play the Guy's Cradle here, the best I can do is get an Arbor. That'll give us 4 mana, and then we have to tap out for a Cradle Hoof. This is like the rare occasion. I think it's correct to hold the Cradle, because I'm going to go Cradle into Cradle here. For lethal. Because the Hoof is in our hand. Also, if we play the Cradle, our opponent knows they're in danger. Here, it's not as telegraphed. And then, ideally, a 1-drop off the top, so we have 4 attackers instead of 3. It's lethal regardless. I mean, it's if we played out the Cradle there, assuming an irrelevant draw, then we tap out and only deal what would be 8 plus 10. I guess it's still lethal, but not great. I guess I don't want to give them the information as well that they're in danger. They have to find a Thoughtseize. Uh oh, that's not good. Shoot. Kind of feels like we need a bog here, maybe? So is there a difference between 3 and 5 mana? In case it matters. Ugh, okay. Jesus Christ. Exactsies. Oh, wasn't meant to be, I guess. What was our keep? I think we just like seized on one, right? And took their LED. Seemed reasonable enough. I'd have to. They took our green sun. We drew a land, played both things. Then we cast our noble, and they found the thing with a brainstorm. I think the line we took was fine. It just didn't work out. All right, I did say that was the last match. I'm gonna try to exert some discipline here. Here are my socials again. Unfortunate way to end the stream, but sometimes that happens. I think in theory, I don't care about the initiative matchup. Like, I'm not expecting to play that in a bigger setting. The loss of the Storm Pilot is a little bit concerning, but I think the game plan is fine. It just didn't work out. As for the mana base, I think I was fine with it. The going down to one Shepherd was fine. Like, that's not why we won or lost today. If anything, it helped because the decks we lost to were not Shepherd's not good. I think the one. What do we lose to? Well, I think we just gotta get better at drawing our sideboard cards. To be honest, maybe we gotta play more of them. The jailer, how was that? I think that was fine. It would have been neat if we drew it. I think the matchups we lost, it's like relevant, right? Against the storm deck, it would have shut off Echo. So I think that was okay. Argument to be made. This should be Force of Vigor. Um, I'm not sure we're beating that storm hand anyways. The Caracas was dead. Maybe that's the card that needs to go. And maybe just like another discard spell or another fairy, right? Like if we lose to God Tea, maybe that's okay. We lost to Breakfast today. We lost to the Rescaminator with the kind of the nuts. We beat it also twice, but it. I think the Caracas is the weakest slot. I think maybe we want like a Force of Vigor or something. Uh, I think Jailer would have been good. Fiend is fine, and I think we just gotta up the density of relevant, like hate, if that makes sense. Against Scaminator, maybe I don't mind the second fairy. It's a lot of graveyard hate, to be honest. Like how much do we want to beat the graveyard? I don't remember what else we lost to today. Something random, I think. Okay. Anyways, let's see who should I raid. Let's raid. I guess the Will. Alright, Will Hall EXP. Alright, thank you everyone. What the hell? Alright, thank you everyone for hanging out. I think maybe we change the Caracas and maybe another anti-combo card. I do not like losing to combo, and we lost more than I would have liked today. All right, thanks for hanging out.